whose point of view?
Huh? In general?
Jury selection went faster than I thought. If it's all wound up by Friday, we're going to be in court on Monday.
Yeah, that's what I think, too.
You don't seem too eager.
Nothing to be eager about. Can I ask you something?
Well, I'm due at the spa to pick up Holly.
It'll only take a minute.
Go ahead.
I've investigated every alibi that Grant's given me. Every one is a dead end.
I know.
I keep coming back to this janitor, Higgins.
I'd say he blew you out of the water.
Yeah, you didn't seem too surprised about that either.
I did my homework.
Yeah. Anyway, come on, Robert. How do we know it wasn't Grant Putnam that impersonated Andrews, huh? He could have changed his hair to look like Andrews. He could have changed his clothes to look like Andrews.
Jake, he didn't.
Would you be willing to tell me why you're so sure?
Look, I'm not out to persecute your client, but as the police commissioner, I have an obligation to protect all citizens, including those accused of a crime. However, I'm more than happy to share with you what sort of a case we're building.
Well, all right, then tell me, why are you so sure that Putnam is not impersonating Andrews?
Firstly, I went to his room and I searched it thoroughly. I found no clothing there remotely resembling anything that Grant could have worn. Secondly, I also searched his car.
Nothing there either.
Zero. Look, mate, you better face it. And I mean right now. This is a perfect case for the state.
Yeah, too perfect.
We'll talk again.
Okay. Thanks, Robert.
Sorry I'm late.
No, don't be. Your timing's perfect. I was just looking up for the day.
Was it an intriguing one?
Why do you say that?
Oh. People in groups, whispering, talking, that sort of thing. Acting suspicious.
That's par for the course around here.
And you don't choose to indulge, though.
Sometimes, but today I've had too much on my mind.
Such as?
Celia was here.
No, I figured that.
Do you know when the actual trial will start?
They still have 4 jurors to select.
And then once they have all the jurors, do they start right away?
Well, usually, but if the last juror's selected towards the end of the day, the judge will convene to the next court session.
Oh, so you think it'll start pretty soon?
Well, my best guess is still Monday. Why?
Well, I think Celia's losing her sense of judgment.
Oh.
She is seriously considering testifying against Grant.
Has she said that to the DA?
No, but she's leaning in that direction, and I think it's wrong.
Holly, look. Her testimony is just what the prosecution needs. Now, if she wants to give it, why shouldn't she?
Because she's doing it for the wrong reason.
In your opinion?
In anyone's opinion, she's acting out of jealousy.
Have you told her how you felt?
Yes, I tried. I don't know if it worked, but I tried.
What did you say?
I told her that the coincidence is obvious. She saw the picture of Tanya in the newspaper, and now immediately she's thinking of testifying against Grant. That is the wrong reason. That is not a valid motivation for being a witness.
I could care less about her motivation. I wanted to testify.
You want it to be accurate, though, don't you?
Well, why wouldn't it be?
Because of her motivation, her emotional state.
Well, that's your worry and not mine. And I might add, Mrs. Scorpio, you are dangerously close to obstructing justice by discouraging a potential witness.
I'm not obstructing justice. I'm trying to tell a dear friend of mine that her reasons for making her decision are wrong.
For jealousy.
Right. Jealousy. Celia is jealous about her husband having an affair.
Right.
And if you ask me from what she was saying today, I don't think she'll ever forgive him.
Right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh, hi. Yeah, what timing? You'll never guess who's here acting kind of weird.
Who?
Our old friend Celia. And she says she's here to see Leo, but I don't know. It's pretty important. I mean, the way she's acting is kind of...
Which is?
Well, you know, she's kind of edgy, nervous, you know, like she's going to get her teeth filled or something.
Oh, where is she now?
She's in the lounge waiting for him.
Well, I'm afraid it's going to be up to you to keep an eye on her today. I just came in to open up the boutique for one of the volunteers.
Oh, you're not going to stay?
No, sorry, I've got to run over to Robert's office and see what's happening with Grant.
Sure thing.
This being the last day in all, it's
I'll warn you, jury selection is one of the most boring aspects of the judicial system. Necessary? Yes. Exciting? Rarely.
Well, it gives a chance to do the chance.
Oh, so there's a motive to this meeting.
Well, insofar as that I'm looking for a progress report.
Oh, that's easy. One more juror to go and we're ready.
Pleased with the selection?
And we'll stay satisfied. It's not an easy job selecting the jury in a case like this. All the publicity, a defendant with a recognizable name and face. Unfortunately, everyone in this town has heard of Grant Andrews.
That's it then. We got a court on Monday.
Well, I anticipate a short trial unless the defense has some surprises for us.
Jake's done a lot of overtime on this one. Don't underestimate the underdog.
I'm ready for it.
Well, maybe you tell me what you're looking for. We can speed things up a little, huh?
I'm not really sure.
You're redeeming some friend's mistake again.
Oh, no. This time I'm more in the market for myself.
Few trinkets to dazzle the husband with, huh? Hey, I understand. What about these pearl earrings?
No, not my style. I was looking for something, new, interesting. Something more personal.
Got just the thing. Whole new collection brought in by this wealthy dame. This watch is part of the collection. You are gonna love it. Huh?
Oh, my.
Yeah, you like? It's all quality stuff. I paid a fortune for it.
Well, this is very nice. To Sylvia with love.
Yours for $500.
How much for the whole collection?
The whole... Let's see.
No, I mean, how much did you pay for it?
Now, come on. You don't think I'm going to tell you that, huh?
If you want to make a sale. And be honest, Benny, because I have a good eye for jewelry.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you, only because you're a good customer of mine. I paid $125,000 for the whole collection.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's yours for $150, huh?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth twice that much.
Well, I don't know. That kind of money, I'm going to have to think about it for a while.
Oh, Holly, is that you?
Oh, yeah, just out on a little shopping spree.
What a coincidence. So am I.
Well, you came to the right place, ladies.
Look, I actually would like to have something appraised. It was a present from a friend. So large I could hardly believe it's real.
Yeah, it certainly glitters in it.
Oh, that's real, all right. Hey, this set the buyer back 10 G's at least.
Good old Dookie.
Dookie.
An admirer. Thank you.
Well, would you like a pair of matching earrings?
No, not today, thank you.
How about you, Mrs. Scorpio? You make up your mind?
Well, I think I'm going to think about it for a while. Could you put it aside for me?
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, that's very pretty, Holly.
Thank you.
There's a lot more in the Whitby collection if you're interested.
Whitby?
Yeah,
Sylvia Whitby?
that's the one.
I think I'd like to see it.
Okay, I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
I'll see you at the spa.
Are you going?
I'm going to stop by my husband's office first, see if there's any news on Grant Andrews' trial. See you. Oh, sorry, you're in a meeting.
No, actually, we were talking about you.
Please sit down, Holly.
Jake knew you were going to stop by long before I did.
Oh, really?
Yes, I called the spa.
Yes, I wanted to see how the trial is coming.
That's exactly why I'm here. You know, the trial starts Monday.
Look, I've already told Jake it won't do any good, and it's absolutely out of the question.
You're our last chance, Holly. As I was telling Robert, if Celia decides to testify, she'll be personally responsible for sending Grant to prison. You see, no matter what jury we've picked, ultimately it's her decision.
You're getting in over your head.
Maybe.
Look, Holly, I know she's your friend. That's why I say forget it. She's already said no to everyone else. You ask again, you run the risk of alienation.
Well, then that is a risk I'm going to have to take. Jake makes it sound like Grant's last chance. I can't walk away from that.
She's at the court of means. Will you see it today?
As soon as I leave here.
Thank you, Holly. At least now we'll know that no matter what happens, we've done everything. Robert?
Talk to you again, mate.
Okay. Thanks again.
You mad at me?
Furious.
This is it then, huh? Divorce?
I wish it was that easy. Unfortunately, I'm too damn proud of you.
Well, I knew you'd understand why I wanted to do it.
You're your own person. You're doing what you believe in.
Mainly because it might help Grant.
I hope so, because at this stage, I'm not sure what's going to help him.
Oh, Holly, hi. This is a surprise.
Hi.
Hi, I hope I'm not interrupting you, but I'd like to talk to you alone if I could.
Jimmy Lee, would you mind?
Oh, no, not at all. I'll be in the den.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. Jake asked me to come and talk to you.
Oh. Now, why doesn't that come as a surprise?
He wanted me to convince you to go and talk to Grant.
Well, I'll just tell you right now, you can save your breath and your energy, because it's out of the question.
Why?
I don't want anything more to do with him. Can't you understand that? Can't Jake? Whatever we had is gone, over.
And forgotten? I mean, there was a time when he risked his life to save yours. He saved both of our lives.
But that was a long time ago. He's a completely different man.
How do you know if you don't talk to him?
He tried to kill me, and that's all that matters.
I realize how confusing this is for you.
No, you don't. No one can.
I'm just asking you to be objective, just for a moment.
Why?
Because I think you know, deep down, that there is an off chance that he's innocent.
Holly, there's so much evidence.
I know the evidence. I know the witnesses. I know everything they have on him. But also I know you, and I know the love you had for him. You won't be able to live with yourself, Celia, if he goes to jail and you don't talk to him again.
What would I say?
You don't have to say anything. Just listen. That's all anybody asks of you.
He'll lie.
Maybe he will. You have to decide that. In fact, you might go in there, and you might decide that the best thing you could possibly do would be to testify against him. But at least you'll know once and for all.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if you were through or not, or...
Just a couple more minutes.
No, it's all right. Actually, I've made up my mind, and you might as well know, too. I have decided to go see Grant.
You can't do that.
I have to do that.
All you needed was a picket sign, and I would have sworn you were walking the line. You just have to knock, you know.
Well, big dilemma here. Whether to bother you again with my problems or go back to the Quartermains.
The lady or the tiger?
The lady won.
The Quartermain's being rough on you?
As usual. Monica is making it just about bearable. She's making up for Alan and Edward.
Just think, you used to be one of them.
I still am. That's the problem. That's why they can't resist this uncontrollable urge to watch over me, even Edward, even though this publicity is killing him.
Well, consider this your home away from home.
Really? Then may I spend the day here?
Oh, of course. I'd love the company.
I'd say we could go out, but I would...
Oh, I know. It's the first day of the trial.
Consequently, the longest day of my life.
How did your meeting with Grant go?
That confused me even more than ever. I knew I was in big trouble just as soon as I saw him.
Well, I'm sure you'll do the right thing.
And do you know what that is?
It's whatever you decide to do. Face it. You might decide to testify and he could still get off. Or you could decide not to testify and he could be convicted.
And both sides are hounding me.
I wish I could do something to make it easier for you.
Oh, so do I, Holly. Is Robert taking the stand today?
I think so. He's torn up about it, too. Believe me, the last thing he wanted to do was have to go up there.
Well, I'm sure he's doing what he thinks is right.
Excuse me.
Hi, Holly.
Oh, hi. Is there something I can do for you?
As a matter of fact, I came to see Celia. I was told that she was going to be here. Hi.
It's all right, Holly. I don't mind.
Well, I thought you could use a friend today.
Well, that's why she
Good.
came in.
Well, you know what they say, two's company and three's a crowd.
crowd.
That's right. And it's better to have a crowd of friends than just two friends, right? Look at her, she's smiling already. Things aren't as bad as she said they were.
Oh, so you launched an investigation.
Yes, when we realized what was going on.
Tell the court what that investigation involved.
We found footprints near the boat and down by the lake. Lab technicians took plaster casts of those prints and later matched them to Mr. Andrews' work shoes.
With the court's permission, I would like to enter these shoes and the matching prints as Exhibit A and B, respectfully.
Record the evidence. Let the records show they are received as evidence in this case. You may continue.
Mr. Scorpio, did you immediately confront the defendant with your suspicions?
Yes, I did.
And how did the defendant respond?
He had an alibi. He maintained he was unconscious in an alley and then later at home during the time in question.
Did you follow up with an investigation?
Yes.
And what did you find?
We found a block of wood that he was allegedly hit with. It was submitted for lab analysis where we lifted one set of fingerprints off it.
Were you able to identify those fingerprints?
Yes, they belonged to the defendant.
With the court's permission, may said block of wood be received as evidence as Exhibit C?
Granted. See the evidence is recorded.
Tell me then, Commissioner, in your opinion, is it conceivable that the defendant could have been unconscious and disoriented and then groggy for the exact time that he said he was, for almost 6 hours?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for conjecture.
Your Honor, we will have the upcoming testimony from the doctors. Commissioner Scorpio was privy to their report.
Your Honor, the witness is not a medical expert.
I'll withdraw the question. Thank you, Commissioner. Your witness, Counselor.
Thanks. Now then, Commissioner, you said you found these shoes. Where did you find them?
In the trunk of Grant Andrews' car.
Did you break into that trunk?
No, we used a key.
Key that Grant Andrews voluntarily handed over to you, isn't that correct?
We asked him for it.
Did you ask him about the shoes before that?
Yes.
What did he say?
That they were missing and he hadn't seen them in about a week.
Well, doesn't it strike you as odd, Commissioner, that he would hand you over the key to the trunk if he were hiding these shoes in there?
We asked him for it.
Did you ask for the key to the trunk?
That's right. Captain Ramsey was with me.
May I remind the Commissioner that he's under oath here?
What do you mean?
Isn't it true that all you really did ask for was to search his personal effects and that it was then that my client voluntarily handed over to you the key to that trunk?
Well, I suppose, but it's just a technicality.
Well, I put it to you, Commissioner. Why would a man who's supposedly hiding something from you then willingly give you the incriminating key to that evidence?
Objection that calls for conjecture. The witness is being asked to speculate what was in the mind of the defendant.
Sustained.
It's obvious, isn't it, that he didn't know they were there. That perhaps another man could have worn the shoes, made those shoe prints, and then stashed them into the car.
Objection. Counsel is drawing a conclusion for the witness.
Objection sustained.
Now, let me get this straight here, Commissioner. The theory here is that Grant Andrews hit himself with this in order to make it look like he was attacked. Is that right?
Correct.
He would have to hit himself pretty hard, wouldn't he?
Yes, I guess he would.
Where did the blow come from, Commissioner?
The back.
From behind?
Yes.
Well, then it, was it like this? No, he couldn't get enough force that way. Or maybe it was like this. No. In fact, it's pretty difficult. In fact, almost impossible. Would you like to try it, Commissioner?
That's all right.
No, of course not. It's obvious that neither you, nor I, nor Grant Andrews could possibly perform such a deed.
A desperate man could.
Seems to me that the state is pretty desperate to get its case, resorting to this whole theory.
Objection. This line of questioning is for no other purpose than to embarrass the police commissioner.
I have no more questions, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
State calls Dr. Peter Spiegel.
Two more seems unlikely, given Mr. Andrews sustained no brain damage.
What's wrong? Wrong? Nothing. Holly, come on. You haven't said 2 words since Jimmy Lee left.
I find it uncomfortable.
What?
When he was here, Jimmy Lee.
Uh-huh, that's what I thought.
I know this has nothing to do with me.
Well, that just leaves me.
All right, but I'm going to butt in anyway. I'm sorry, but I can't help it. I just find it odd that you would go over to Jimmy Lee's for lunch at a time like this.
Well, lunch isn't the point.
Well, then what is?
I need a sounding board, Holly. Don't Doesn't everyone do something like that when they have a difficult problem to face? I am up against a wall trying to decide whether to testify against Grant or not.
I doubt if Jimmy Lee will be able to provide an objective opinion.
Well, maybe he'd surprise you.
What if somebody sees you going or coming out of his place?
I'll be careful.
Well, why even put yourself in that position?
Holly, you should welcome a couple hours off of the line of duty. Besides, how many generous invitations am I getting these days? Be here in a minute.
Well, with luck, you'll have a flat tire or something.
Holly, why are you making such a big deal of this?
Because I don't care what your reasons are. I just think you're making a big mistake.
Jimmy Lee is a friend.
And an ex-lover.
A friend, Holly.
All right, have it your way.
I shall.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just expressing an opinion.
No one has to know.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be advertising it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You ready?
I thought I was.
You thought you were.
No.
Well, something wrong.
I'm just wondering if you're quite aware of how difficult today is for Celia.
Of course I'm aware. That's why I want to take her out to lunch. Do you don't mind all this? Thanks, pal.
Hey, for your information, I have Celia's welfare at heart.
So do I.
I changed my mind, that's all. Let's just leave it at that, all right? I can't get my mind off of what's going on at the trial anyway right now.
What's going on here? A few courtroom theatrics. Watch.
Continuing coverage of the Grant Andrews trial, a District Attorney 8 has admitted today that things have taken a temporary turn toward the defense after key cross-examination by Andrews attorney Jake Meyer. More news on the early evening edition.
Can't believe it.
Just boggle the mind.
Well, now I know why they were so desperate to have me testify. He may get off if I don't.
How would you feel if Grant does get off?
I'm not sure.
Does that mean you have a question about his guilt?
Oh, no. I know he's guilty.
You're just not sure you'd like to see him in jail.
I don't know. That might be it. I just don't know that I want to be the one personally responsible for putting him there.
By testifying.
If I testify.
You're still no closer to a decision?
Oh, Holly, to tell you the truth, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Mr. Attorney, how will you prepare your case for tomorrow?
What will you do now that the defense has destroyed your key witnesses?
In no way is that my opinion of what happened. We presented the facts, and the defense attempted to mislead the witnesses.
Can you tell us about your experience on the stand, Mr. Scorpio?
I'm sorry, no comment.
Please, we're both confident that we'll get a conviction shortly.
Oh, you'll be introduced to new evidence.
There, Myers, was some, but mainly what we'll do will be waiting to let the defense present its case, if it has one.
Commissioner Scorpio, do you feel as confident now as you did before the beginning of this trial?
Suffice to say, no case is cut and dry. We have a long way to go yet.
Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Just what I needed, a cold juice and a hot sauna.
I had an idea you'd want to be fortified for the day.
Oh. You were right. Trial starts again at 10. After yesterday's going to be a long session.
You said yesterday didn't go well.
Not for the prosecution. Jake managed to discredit certain of our witnesses.
So, Robert, does that mean that Grant might get off?
We're over to the final verdicts, and one bad day never really determines the outcome.
And then Grant could be convicted.
I think when the dust settles, he will be, depending, of course, whether our DA handles the whole case with a certain amount of skill.
Well, you always said he was brilliant.
He is, but Jake's good. He hasn't missed a trick.
Well, at least Grant is going to be getting the best possible defense.
No. Of course he's getting the best possible defense. I mean, how's Celia bearing up?
Not very well. If what happened yesterday was any sort of an indication.
What was that?
Well, Jimmy Lee invited her Yeah. Over to his house for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And she almost went. I mean, at least she accepted.
What do you mean she almost went?
Well, I managed to talk her out of it. Eventually, she decided not to go.
What'd you say?
I told her what I thought, that Jimmy Lee is like a vulture, just waiting to move in on her. And besides that, the press would have jumped to all sorts of conclusions.
Well, apparently, she must have agreed with you.
Yeah, well, I was pretty firm with her at first. It just shows how vulnerable she is at the moment, though.
Well, that's not going to make my job any easier.
Your job?
Mm-hmm. My job. I promised Grant that if he was to go to prison, that I would endeavor to look after Celia. I'm going to need your help on that one.
Well, of course. All Celia's friends are going to have to help her.
I agree. Including the Quartermains.
Well, one of them at least.
Who?
Monica. Seems that when the chips are down, she's the only friend Celia has in that family.
I mean, our relationship was just starting to take on dimension.
Was it really?
Well, why don't you let me give you a massage right now, and I'll show you.
Oh, Leo, I'm all a tingle.
Well, then, shall we go?
Oh, I'd adore it.
Oh, don't tell me you're losing your touch.
Now, whatever gave you that idea?
Just a thought.
Well, you thought wrong, Holly.
Oh, well, I'm relieved. Come to think of it, though, I haven't seen Sylvia at this bar in days. Could she be avoiding you?
I sincerely hope not. That would break my heart.
Oh, that would be a shame. I know how sensitive you are.
Yeah, well, sensitivity is my stock in trade.
Well, of course. As a masseur, it would be. Speaking of massages, I was looking in your appointment book, and you have some free time this afternoon.
Well, I haven't really checked.
Well, I have, and I was hoping you could fit me in.
Do you want a massage?
Yes, assuming the idea appeals to you, too.
Well, yeah, it appeals to me. In fact, I'd be delighted.
Good.
This afternoon, then?
This afternoon. Yes, Sylvia Whitby, please. This is Holly Scorpio. Oh. I see. Could you tell me where she's having lunch? They're at the Greenhouse restaurant. Okay. No message. Thank you very much. Hey, Sherlock.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you're free to have lunch with me.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Good, because Sylvia and her husband are eating at the Greenhouse restaurant. I want to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, so I'll ask a volunteer to come around and take over the boutique, and we'll leave about noon. Is that okay?
All right, I'll be there. Hey, I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Forward to it.
Good.
We interrupt our musical program to bring you this news bulletin. Here in Port Charles, the trial of Grant Andrews has now moved into its second day.
Aren't you having a good time?
Oh, yes, of course, Josh. Why do you say that?
Oh, nothing.
Actually, I really like to talk to Sylvia, but not in front of her husband.
Maybe you'll go to the men's room.
You are brilliant.
I am?
Mm-hmm. It's perfect, the men's room. And I know exactly how to make sure that is where he goes.
Don't you just love your salad, dear? It's made entirely of organic material.
Oh, Holly, you startled me. Oh, sorry, I want to make this fast.
What is it?
Well, it's a very delicate situation, and I assure you I have your interest at heart, but a friend of mine is interested in Leo, or should I say, very interested.
And?
Well, I wouldn't want to encourage her if I wasn't sure that your romance with him was over.
My dear Holly, it was never a romance.
Oh, what was it?
A perfectly harmless flirtation. And I mean harmless. After all, I am a married woman.
Oh, of course.
But if I may speak quite frankly...
Oh, please do.
I tell my friend not to get involved with Leo in any way. He's not a nice man.
Are you speaking from experience?
Oh, that really doesn't matter. Let's just say I know that he is definitely bad business.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your advice. I'll make sure to warn my friend. I was just wondering if that... No, I shouldn't really ask you about that.
Ask whatever you wish.
Well, the other day I was in Benny's, and I just happened to recognize some of your jewelry pawned.
Oh, why would you ever think that had anything to do with Leo? I can explain pawning some of my jewels. Pawning them temporarily, am I right?
You don't have to explain, really.
Well, bet I want to. Actually, I inherited those pieces from an aunt, and I never really cared for them. And then recently, I was offered an opportunity to make a very good investment, but of course I needed cash. And suddenly it struck me that since I didn't like the jewels, why not use them to get the cash I needed? It's as simple as that.
I would have thought that your husband would have given you the cash for an investment.
Well, obviously you don't know him. He's of the old school. Women should leave money matters entirely to their husbands.
What would he do if he found out?
Probably kill me.
You know, Holly, this pleases me.
Oh, what does?
Working on you. I'm really glad you came out and asked for this.
Isn't that how most of your customers ask you?
Yeah, but some of them are so coy about it. I detest coy women. I mean, if they want a sensuous massage, all they have to do is come out and ask for it. How's my touch, okay?
You're doing fine, Leo. Just as long as you behave yourself.
Behave. I don't give too much thought to behaving, just giving pleasure. Women have needs, you know.
For what?
For my special services. I'm sure you're no exception.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I know a police commissioner's wife. Must be neglected. A lot of lonely hours to fill.
Other women have hours to fill, too. How about Celia?
What about her?
Well, she just seems awfully scared of coming into the spa lately. I wondered if you had any ideas of why.
No? You know, you have a beautiful back. Just like a woman in a Botticelli.
Speaking of Sylvia...
Must we?
I was wondering if you'd maybe made any suggestions of investments to her lately.
Investments? Hardly.
Well, are you sure? I mean, when you're massaging her, you must talk about all sorts of things.
Yeah, but I can assure you investments aren't one.
What do you talk about?
Oh, this and that, everything, nothing. I don't remember. Look, do we have to talk about Sylvia?
You don't want to talk about Sylvia?
Well, when I have you on the table, Holly, I don't even want to think about another woman.
But you and Sylvia are so close.
Look, Holly, can't we concentrate on you? Okay? Quite frankly, all this talk about my customers is tiring.
Sorry.
Okay. Roll over. That's it. Now just move a little bit to your right, okay? There. That's perfect. Okay, now just relax. Do not interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a phone call from Mrs. Scorpio.
Okay, well, look, just take a message and she'll get back to him.
Oh, it's urgent.
It's okay, Josh. I'll take it.
Holly, you haven't finished your massage yet.
Oh, that's too bad. I was enjoying it so much.
Look, next time, just stay outside until I call you in, all right?
Hey, okay, sorry. No problem. You mean to disturb you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, Holly. Next time.
Michael, join me in some papaya. It's delicious.
Oh, thank you.
Miss Beatrice?
Excuse me, Holly, I have to go.
But you've just got him.
Yes, I know.
Oh, what's going on?
I've no idea. It obviously meant something to Monica, though. She just got here, and a messenger came and gave something to Beatrice. And then she ran out right away.
What you guys won't do for a spot of excitement.
Oh, there's no end to it. Oh, tell me what happened with the trial.
We have to talk about it here.
No, not really. I just locked up. So where do you suggest?
How's about the sauna?
Oh, you said the magic word. Do you know what my idea of sheer heaven is?
I haven't the imagination to think.
It's the best. Lovely wine, the sauna, beluga caviar.
Didn't I make the list this year?
Sorry, darling. Yes, of course you did.
Thank you.
I'm so relaxed I forgot. How did the trial go today?
DA made some good decisive points.
Significantly?
Yeah, tomorrow will be the decisive day.
What's going to happen tomorrow?
Testimony which will discredit Grant's rather weak alibis.
Who's scheduled to testify?
Now, come on. We can't discuss DA tactics with you. That's official business.
Have you forgotten our pact?
What pact?
What a fleeting memory you have, darling. Don't you remember? Any confidences shared in this sauna remain sacred.
We agreed to that?
Yes, we did. Anything you say will not leave this room.
Well, you remind me. Now, how's that? Feel good?
It's wonderful.
Yeah?
You know,
really good?
Maybe you missed your true calling, you know? Yeah. You do this better than a professional yourself.
You mean better than that lech at the spa, or old curiosity fingers, or whatever they call him?
Much better. And safer.
You think I'm safe? Do you?
No, actually, and I'm glad you're not. Got any more caviar?
Oh, yeah. Your every wish, madame. Here.
So much.
Here, dig out.
Do you know how I like sweet caviar? I mean, it has to be very good caviar.
A biscuit?
I don't know. I don't like it on a biscuit.
What do you want to do?
I like to eat it
Out of my hand?
off the man that I love.
Really? How much of this stuff have we got? Is there any more in the fridge?
It's a good job we have that packed, though, isn't it?
You mean about everything in here being private and all, yeah?
Right, everything we do definitely needs to be private.
Right. Well, give me that. Right.
Hey, don't stop.
What?
I said don't stop, Robin.
I was thinking about something.
So was I.
Well, apart from that, something just... Well, I was thinking about Grant.
Oh, what about him?
Well, you can't help feeling sorry for the poor bloke.
I do. But now?
Well, here he is, stuck in the local slammer, eating that terrible chow down there. I mean, it must be pretty rough on him.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, especially after the day. I mean, things didn't go too well. Tomorrow's going to be even worse.
Robert, I know what you're saying. And believe me, I have an awful lot of sympathy for him, but may I just make one suggestion?
Well, what?
That just for 1 or 2 hours, we don't talk about Grant or the trial, or the other Grant.
Starting from now.
Right now.
Oh, I think we can arrange that. I think we can arrange that.
Mr. Police Commissioner,
Yes.
I have to talk to you.
Well, is it police business?
Yes.
Then you'll have to come out of the station, I'm sorry.
No, now.
Well, I can't now. I'm attending a trial.
That's what I want to talk to you about.
What is it?
I have information for you. It has to do with Mr. Grant Andrews.
Any information you may have about this case.
Then let's go somewhere to talk.
I can't.
Commissioner, I am no crazy lady who spends her time in courtrooms. I am here because I feel it is my duty to tell the authorities what I know.
I believe you. I just can't discuss it now.
And why not?
Well, there's a rather special witness about to take the stand, and I want to hear their testimony.
I see.
But I want to talk to you.
What am I to do while you're in the courtroom?
Wait here.
All day?
Well, as soon as the witness has said what they have to say, which shouldn't take long, I'll come straight out. Now, will you wait?
Yes. What I have to tell you is important. It must not remain a secret any longer.
Good. I'll see you in a bit.
I shall be here.
I'd like both counsels to approach the bench.
I've had enough.
You can't leave. This is just getting good.
I've got a potential witness to talk to.
You think we need any more?
You never know. If you need me, I'll be in the corridor. Your boss will pat in the back for a job well done.
Making wild accusations in an attempt to hold on to your only daughter?
I know.
What happened? It looks as if Jake over here tore bars apart. I'll say, there's nothing left to his testimony but shreds. Meyer completely discredited him. So much for that star witness.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Worry? I'm trying to figure out a way to counteract it.
I might have just the thing.
And you know something that the state doesn't.
There's someone I want you to meet.
Who?
Could be our ace in the hole. I guarantee you 5 minutes with this woman, you're going to approach the bench and request to put an unscheduled witness on the stand.
Must be some pretty powerful stuff.
Ask for a recess and see for yourself. One gypsy fortune teller could well make our day. Tied up with this case right now. Well, how important is it? Okay, I'll link him in. Valentine, my office, 10:30? Right. See you then.
Excuse me, Commissioner. Are you seeing anyone this morning?
Well, that depends who the one is. What do you mind?
Mrs. Andrews. She says you know her.
Celia, yes. Send her in.
Not a very original disguise, I know.
Maybe I can get you some coffee. Sit down.
No, thank you. That's all right. I can just stay a few minutes. I've had second thoughts about something and felt you were the person I should talk to.
You decided to testify?
Robert, no.
Oh, wait a minute. There's something I think I should tell you. Tanya Roscoff takes the stand today. Now, this could well change the whole picture regarding you. Be a little happier at the prospect of Tanya being subpoenaed.
Robert, I'd already heard about it. It was on the radio early this morning.
But, I mean, aren't you overjoyed at the fact that you probably don't have to testify? I mean, you could well be off the hook here.
I understand.
Look, I know it took a lot for you to come in here today and, well, admit you changed your mind.
Oh, no, wait. You've misunderstood. I have not changed my mind. I said I wouldn't testify, and I have not changed my mind.
All right. Then,
Robert, what I really want is to know if I can go to the trial today.
That's the reason you're here?
Yes. Do you think there's a chance? I understand that the judge is only admitting spectators on a case-by-case basis.
I think it'll be all right. You're not down as a future witness. I'll talk to the DA and he can make a request to the judge.
Thank you.
Why, Celia?
Why what?
You've gone out of your way to avoid any interest in this case whatsoever. Now all of a sudden we have a change of heart.
Curiosity.
That, Tanya?
Do you blame me?
Not really.
Do you think she'll lie?
That's not the issue where Tanya's concerned.
What is?
The DA calls it emotional impact. The effect on the jury of simply seeing her there.
But Tanya and Grant had an affair. She might deny that.
She might. I mean, I won't deny that it would be better if we had the betrayed wife on the stand to clarify matters, but as we don't, the DA is going to have to drag it out of her, and he's tough. She's in for a rough time.
quite thought of it that way.
No.
Robert, you know me better than that. I don't revel in other people's pain.
Even people that have stolen your husband?
Her personal ethics are her own concern. My only problem is mine.
So, your only reason for going to the trial is curiosity?
Yes, what else? And why the cross-examination?
Motive's my hobby.
Shall I wait while you call the DA?
No. Be all right. You can make your way over to the courthouse. Oh, hang on a second. You're never going to get through that battery of press out there. The Auntie Mame outfit really won't do it. Now, come with me. Frank? Yeah, listen, get someone down here, will you, to escort Mrs. Andrews over to the courtroom? Yeah, now. And listen, track down the DA while you're at it. He should be hovering around the courthouse somewhere. Thank you. No sooner said than done.
What do you predict for today?
What do I predict? I predict a very grisly scene.
Just hope she tells the truth.
Well, that's going to be up to Tanya, isn't it? Yeah. We'll send him in.
Strategy session, Robert. We got trouble.
What now?
I am getting a lot of flack from the Justice Department. They want to put this whole matter to rest, and fast.
Well, what do they want from the WSB?
Well, they want us to sit on Putnam's claim that it was Andrews that tried to kill him in England 8 years ago.
Sit on? That's a bit vague, isn't it?
They don't want Putnam to take the stand.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so you'll keep him out of it, right?
It's not that easy.
What are you trying to tell me? That you can't convict without him?
Look, you realize what you're asking me to do? Withhold information, incriminating information at that?
You were willing to before?
Well, that's because I thought I needed to.
You know how we work, Robert. The integrity of the WSB has always got to be protected.
You're forgetting I'm no longer part of the Bureau.
You know, I'll just bet you there's a little speck of loyalty down in there somewhere.
Well, there's a little speck there, all right. But you see, my first priority is to my job. I took an oath of office. Part of that oath is that I pursue the strongest possible case against Grant Andrews.
I see. Always a pro, right?
At least you understand me.
So in other words, I'm just wasting time with you, Robert, right? If your DA wants Putnam to testify, then Putnam will testify, huh?
That's right.
I got one problem. Just what am I going to tell Justice?
Okay. You tell Justice that I will make sure the press understand that the State Department and the WSB allowed Andrews to stay here with the best of intentions. Look, every red-blooded American will buy the fact that you deserve a second chance.
Okay. When do I pay?
Well, I do need a little favor.
Aha. Little favor. How little?
I need confirmation of Putnam's testimony against Andrews and other DVX agents. I need confirmation.
What does that involve?
I want to talk to the one remaining agent left, Fletcher.
That means a trip down to federal prison.
Well, it's only an hour by plane.
Yeah, well... You know, Robert, before we go running down to federal prison, there's one thing that I think I should remind you of. And that is that Fletcher's going to want revenge against the guy that turned him in. And that means, if he knows what you're up to, he'll bend over backwards to incriminate Andrews.
In that case, we're very careful how we choose our questions. Besides, he may deny any existence of Andrews, in which case the WSB's off the hook.
Now, that is a bright thought, okay? I'll alert the WSB plane for immediate takeoff. That is, if you can tear yourself away from the courtroom.
I'm sure the DA has matters well in hand here. Conference room, Warden.
Ah, here they are now. Take all the time you need. Gentlemen?
Thank you.
Now, if you're waiting for me to say something nice about Andrei Chernin, you can forget it.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Look, all we're interested in is some information.
Were you, or were you not, in England on a certain date 8 years ago?
I don't remember. You travel a lot in my business.
Could you have been?
It's possible.
I'll be more specific, in case it jogs your memory. Do you recall being in a hotel room with Natalie Dearborn and another DVX agent?
Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. Look, what's this all about? I read about the trial. Is Andrews trying to buy his way out by turning in more DVX agents?
Well, you've already been turned in, so you've got nothing to lose.
You, too, are the only agents being named.
There's an angle here. I'm not going to answer any more questions till I know what it is.
Look, we told you at the beginning of this, all we want is information.
Were you, or were you not, in England on that day?
8 years ago is when Grant Putnam and Andrei Chernin changed places. Papers have been making a big deal about that. That Andrews' intended victim in Port Charles was the real Grant Putnam, the man whose life he stole out from under him.
You're a well-informed con.
Like I say, I read the papers. What else is there to do in here? Wait a minute. I know what this is. Andrews is accusing me of that original attempt on Putnam's life back in England.
You, got something you want to tell us about that?
Sure. I've got a lot to tell.
You have our word that anything you say at this point will not be used against you.
Okay. Fine. It's true. I was one of the agents sent to kill Putnam, but I wasn't alone. Andrews was there, too, only then his name was Chernin.
Well, how many in your group?
There are 3 of us.
What happened at the hotel that night?
We drugged the real Putnam, then we drove him to the coast and threw him in the sea.
That is not exactly what I would call recent information.
It's what happened.
You could get that out of the file in the case.
Some of it was even in the newspapers.
Look, I told you what happened. Take it or leave it. I didn't invite you to come down here.
Now, look, Fletcher, we know that there is no love lost between you and the ex-Mr. Chernin. Are you trying to maybe put a finger on him with this information?
As much as I'd like to, no. Now, the fact is, he was behind that attempt on Putnam's life. What you do with that is your business.
Well, he could land in prison.
Not this one, I hope. The man's not exactly one of my favorite people.
You heard him yourself. He hates Grant.
Sorry, Robert. I believe that what Fletcher said was true. You know, he was one of the ones involved in the attempt on Putnam's life, and so was Grant Andrews.
Well, I still don't like it. If that guy wanted to get revenge, now'd be a perfect time to do it.
Yeah, but he knew that in order to incriminate Andrews, he'd have to incriminate himself first.
So what's he got to lose? He's already in prison.
Yes, but he confessed to the deed before he knew why we wanted it.
True.
And furthermore, Grant Andrews was a major part of a plot to do away with Putnam. They were going to change places. Now, doesn't it make sense that he was in the hotel room at the time they made the switch?
Look, I'm not denying that this looks good. I mean, Grant was obviously a part of it.
So, we get Fletcher to testify, and, well, that's all there is to it for Andrews.
No. Jake had made dog food out of him on that stand. Now, I wanted confirmation of Putnam's story, and I got it.
So, Putnam will be a witness, huh?
Maybe, maybe not.
What do you think? What? What do you think about the sundress? It probably needs a scarf. It's so revealing. I wish everything was.
Sorry, some other time. Later. Afternoon, folks. Good news.
Good, we could use some.
A successful trip.
You saw Fletcher.
He confirmed that Andrews was indeed one of the 3 DVX agents who tried to kill Putnam in England.
Fine. Now, all we have to do is figure out a way to get that information to the jury. Will you go grab those papers for me? I'm going to need them again as soon as we start up.
Yes, sir.
You look a bit edgy. Long day?
Things are not going well with Tanya Roscoff.
I thought you expected an easy time with her.
I did. But what I didn't expect was the difficulty I was going to have with her damn lawyer.
Well, he's tough.
Yeah, he can be had, and the one sure way is to get Grant Putnam to testify. Now, you can help if you can convince him to testify. If you don't, we're going to have to subpoena him.
Well, I was hoping that that was one thing we could avoid.
Not if we're going to win this case. You know what I need from you. That other witness you promised to furnish.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I wouldn't ask if it wasn't crucial.
No, I understand. I'm just not 100% sure that's such a good idea.
You just don't want the WSB to get any more heat for Andrew's defection.
Okay, all right. Shouldn't I be?
Now, look, you can't counter your critics by avoiding them. I mean, you can't anyway if you wanted to.
You sound like a guy with a better idea.
Take the offensive, all right? Meet your critics head on.
Okay. Now, what do I tell them?
The truth. But, according to the WSB.
Which is what?
You gave Grant Andrews a chance. Now, in the spirit of which this country was founded, an immigrant was given the opportunity to come here and start life afresh. But he blew it. Not the WSB. Now he's got to pay. He's got to be punished for his crimes and his betrayal of the country.
That sounds good. I sure buy it.
Let's hope the press will. Anyway, that's the story I'm going to give him. Incidentally, you give him the same story when you trot out your mystery witness. What do you think?
What do I think? I think you ought to be running for president.
I got enough problems right here, thanks very much.
Well, thanks for the strategy, Robert. Excuse me, gentlemen. I got some arrangements to take care of.
Yeah.
See you. Well, stick around. I could use a few billion ideas myself. Besides, I need you nearby when I work on Tanya Roscoff.
Oh, hello, Celia.
Holly, what brings you by?
I was just at the trial today, and I couldn't stand anymore, so I thought I'd come over here and get some exercise. Thought it might relax me. Something's got to.
What happened?
Oh, Grant just made a fool of me in front of the entire courtroom, that's all.
What did he do?
He had the nerve to stand up and defend Tanya Roscoff.
I don't understand. He's the one who's on trial. What do you mean defend?
Yes, well, she was on the stand, and she was starting to break down under the DA's questioning. And when she finally did come apart, Grant valiantly leapt to his feet and yelled for them to stop tormenting her and demanded that he be let up on the stand. Oh, Ollie, can you imagine? I have never been so humiliated in my life.
Well, what were you doing in court in the first place?
I knew Tanya would be testifying today. I wanted to see if she'd tell the truth. Now I really wish I hadn't set foot in that courtroom.
But at least it wasn't a shock to you.
What do you mean?
Well, you've known about Tanya and Grant for weeks now.
This was so much worse.
Why?
Then, when I saw them, it was a private experience. Today, it was a public declaration of Grant's love for Tanya Roscoff. Ollie, it was awful.
What did Tanya say when she got up onto the stand?
I don't know. I didn't stick around long enough. The judge called a recess right after Grant's outburst, and I couldn't get out of that courtroom fast enough.
Well, I'm surprised that you had the courage to be there in the first place.
I had to.
Is it worth it?
I'm not sure. I have to admit, though, I was torn watching her on the stand.
How so?
Well, she was having a hard time of it. The DA was merciless. I'm surprised she stood up as well as she did. I actually felt sorry for her, if you can believe that.
Yes, I think I can.
She was really hurting. But any sympathy I might have felt for her disappeared completely with Grant's speech in her defense.
Well, maybe he was feeling the same sympathy for her that you were.
Maybe, but he didn't have to announce it to the entire world. Not if he really...
Not if he really what? Still loves you?
He didn't leave any doubt about who he loves, not after today. I really do feel like testifying against him now.
Celia, if I were you, I would sleep on that.
I can't sleep. I won't be able to sleep at all tonight. I can't get Tanya Roscoff's face out of my mind.